So we need the Chiefs, the Kansas City Chiefs, to win and beat Denver. We really need that to happen. And a lot of Jet fans are saying, why? Why do we care about Kansas City and Denver? Neither has implications of the Jets getting into the playoffs. Well, I care to differ. I care to differ, if that's a thing. Um, because with the concussion protocol that Tua has now went in for Miami, and hopefully he's okay. Again, never want to see that in the NFL, never want to see that happen to a person. The Miami Dolphins suddenly are looking at Sunday's game with New England without their number one quarterback, which increases New England's chances of winning. Therefore, knowing that we need New England to lose at least one of the next two games for the Jets to go to the playoffs. Because remember, if we win both our games, if we beat Seattle and then beat Miami, we will be in the playoffs as long as New England loses a game. But New England's path just got easier. Without Tua, Miami is not the same team. Their record proves it. They haven't been great with Tua. Can you imagine them without him? So if you or we assume that New England gets an easier win, if New England gets that win, our only hope for the playoffs is if New England then loses to Buffalo. Now, if Buffalo has already clinched the number one seed, they're not going to start Josh Allen. They're not going to start their best players. And New England will have an easy path to the playoffs at our expense. So we need Buffalo to be playing for something now that it's going to be harder to rely on Miami to beat New England. So what are they going to be playing for? The number one seed. And the only way that's going to happen is if Kansas City beats Denver. Therefore, in that scenario, Buffalo, the last game of the season will be very meaningful for them because they'll be playing for the number one seed. Because if they can tie Kansas City in record, remember Buffalo beat Kansas City in head-to-head competition, which would give them the number one seed. That's why it affects the Jets. Everything affects us. The injury to Tua affects us. In one sense, again, we hope he's okay. We never root for anything like this. You're not a football fan if you do. The worst part of the NFL is the injuries. And if we could eliminate them all, we take that in a second. We have all our guys back and give every other team their players back. And it's a much better league. Also, you got to care about the kid. He's a human being. He has a family. So we wish him the best. But the reality is, with him out, if he doesn't play the rest of this year, it hurts us really bad next week when they play New England, but then helps us in the sense that we're not going against the best Miami team to get in the playoffs. Now, again, I wish all of our teams could be at full strength, but that's just not the reality. Injuries happen in the NFL. So root for Kansas City to beat Denver this upcoming week and root for the Jets to beat Seattle. And maybe none of it matters because maybe a guy named Bridgewater or a guy named Thompson comes in for Miami and does the job for us by beating New England. If you like this video and you like the content, hit right there. That's this little bald head. That's me to subscribe to the channel, or you can hit right over here and watch another video. You can do both. But most importantly, you could like the video. That helps a lot too. And go Jets.